Hello everyone, and welcome to another SuncatByte. During this SuncatByte, we're going to be talking about arrays. An array groups variables of the same data type. It allows us to do a few things. To reference those variables, or this group of variables with a single name, and then each array member is called an element. The element is accessed via an array index. And that array index is just going to be an integer from 0 to 1 minus the size of the array. And we'll see more on this in a second. General format for declaring array is going to be data type, array name, and then size. So this is going to be float, int, double, string, just a name, a variable name basically here, and a size. This size is going to be an integer size. You can actually put the integer value, or it can be an integer variable as well. So an example would be something like float, say we had phone bills. We're keeping track of phone bills for a year. Then the size would be 12. We're going to float phone bills. Looking at this in a graphical representation, or in a graphic, so we would have inside of main, this would be the declaration, float, phone underscore bills 12. This is the index, this is the array name, this is the array type. Important thing is that arrays are what we call zero index. So the first element is going to start at 0. The last element will be the array size, which is 12 minus 1, which is 11. So phone bill 0 is going to be the first element. Phone bills 1 is the second. Phone bills 2 is the third, so on, all the way to 11. So keep that in mind, right? You can have, so for arrays, it's possible to make arrays in C++ of any data type or class. So we could have an array of strings for that reason. So let's look at some more examples. Just declarations. So here we have an array of numbers. There's 1,000 numbers. Here we have an array of rays, of doubles, I mean. It's called rays. And this one was integers. This is doubles of 200, string students. So this is a class, right? So you have 25 different strings for student names. Char name. This is actually another way to do a string. We'll talk about that later. But for now, just know that you can use any of the different types. And very important, start at 0. So, a couple other things that we've looked at before for variables. C++ does not automatically assign or initialize values into arrays. And that's just like individual variables. So because of that, that means that we need to initialize them. So the format, the general format for array initialization is this. Data type array name size, and then list of array values. So in this list, that list needs to be comma separated. So say we had lengths. We need to look like this. Int length 5, and then we have 13, 64, 54, 114, 34. So what we, and actually that should be, let's do lowercase, right? So let's say length 0 would then be 13 in this case. Length 1 would be what? 64. Length 2 would be 54. Length 3, 114. Length 4, 34. And that's it for the array. So we start at 0, go to 4. If it was an array of strings, you want to make sure that you have the string in double quotes. So red would be 0, blue would 1, white 2, green 3, yellow 4. So very important, remember that as well. And remember, this is just an initialization. So say we wanted to actually change the value for the first element in the array, we could just do this. So we want it to be purple now. This statement would do that. So now it would basically replace red with purple. So that's about it. This is how you initialize arrays. This is a general format on arrays. We'll have another follow-up SuncatByte on arrays where we talk about for loops in arrays and out of bounds on arrays, and then vectors versus arrays. But for now, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please go ahead and ask in the discussion board forum, shoot me an email, or I will see you during office hours. Till then, take care. Bye.